What's up, guys? It's me, Pez Flips, and today we are doing another unboxing. So many unboxings. We're gonna do one on something that I've been looking at for a while. Now, it's not the exact thing I've been looking at, but this particular knife design and a good clone of it is something that I've been looking for a while. And I guess we'll just see if this particular brand is up to par. Now, maybe this will give you a hint of what we are doing, but that is the brand that we're working with. I got this guy off of BBK Balasong. First time I ever bought anything from him. And yeah, I was really happy with the customer service. I sent out like an email saying, hey, my tracking number isn't working, blah, blah, and he was like, oh, blah, and whatever. I should tell you guys what it is in the first place, but you might be able to hear the ring. But this is from the makers of Telesto. Wait, not Telesto. Pardon, I already said it, but it's a Yuppie. The Yuppie Telesto clone. And as you can see, I have a purple one. Let me look at this in the light, because it's looking pretty good. You can see that that color is very interesting. Not any cosmetic issues. Definitely has some weight to it. Oh, that feels interesting. Everyone always comments on how the Telesto is a blade bias knife. And boy, oh boy, can you feel it. Now, this is not sharp, so that's all right. I have always wanted a Telesto, and I don't know. You know, people always flame it because it has really simple looking cutouts, and it's just overall a very simplistic, minimalistic design. And myself personally, I really like the look of knives like this. So when it actually comes to getting a quality clone of it, obviously I wanted to pursue that. And I think it's tough because you know, support real makers or whatever, but this guy isn't actually a good person. I don't know if you guys know about whatever the dude's name is who makes these, but he's notorious for being quite racist, actually, when it comes to stuff regarding Asians. So, you know, I'm not really a huge racism guy, and he is, I guess, apparently one of those people who was into that. So when it comes to, do I feel bad stealing a design from someone like this? The answer is no. You know, in almost a selfish way, there's a little bit of pride there. But yeah, you know, regardless of those kind of more political aspects of the creator, the design itself is just really cool. But justifiably, I don't think you could say that it was worth the original price of like $900 or something crazy like that. When in reality, like the actual like machining and whatnot is nothing particularly complex. Like even material costs alone, it would not be that expensive. Not to mention that the actual original Telesto doesn't really come with great tolerances. So if you're getting a clone that already has, you know, iffy tolerances, you can definitely find a similar experience for. This was $80 versus $900, and we'll probably have similar tolerances, which is a little disappointing on the maker's behalf, but hey, not my problem. When I picked this guy up, originally only the gray was available, and actually BBK went out of his way to email people and say, hey, like, we have a different colorways for anodizations. Do you want to change your order before we sent it out? And I was like, well, yeah, I want to get anodized. You know, that was what I was going to do myself, but I guess I didn't have to. And they went ahead and did all that stuff. I really was happy with the customer service. Obviously, it took a little bit longer. I'm used to picking up stuff from... let me change the lens here. I'm used to picking up stuff from... Just look at those screws. That's so cool. I'm used to picking up stuff from Kalasong, and with Kalasong, you know, he has a pretty fast shipping, and his tracking numbers generally work a little bit more better, more consistently, I should say. The one experience fault that I had with this was that, despite the fact that I ordered this a few days before my Bally plus V4 Tsunami, which is the previous video. If you haven't seen it, you really should, because it's a cool knife. They got here at like the same time, which is, you know, whatever. With all the customer service and all that stuff, I don't really have a ton of complaints, but I'm just being impatient. The more I flip this, the more I'm comfortable with it, the more it feels like something I can get a handle of. But when you pick this up right out of the box, when I started flipping, like, it's actually kind of phenomenal how much handle or blade bias there is. Not something unavoidable, like it makes fans just carry, but you have to hold the fans in a certain angle. See how I'm like hitting them from the side here instead of it being like straight up? I don't know how to say this, but the fans kind of want to go a little bit diagonal rather than like a true 90-degree relative to the other handle. So that's something to get used to as well. But yeah, I can feel, let's see how the chaplain is. Okay, the chaplain wants to run just a little bit. You kind of have to go slower. I can feel like if I speed up, it wants to get away. A slightly larger chaplain than I would love, but let's get to the sound. Okay. Man, the focus is going crazy today. The play is a little bit upsetting, but at the same time, this is a Yuppie product, and Yuppie products, from my understanding, are bad with tolerances, but they're oversized, so that just means I can tune them. So this thing has a lot of ring, but it's a lot more subtle than I was expecting. The close, I feel like, is not going to sound good. The close is interesting. More muted. I think that's because of the weight being more on the blade. I'll be honest, I don't think I'd ever flip this live because it does just do things a little weird. And that blade, if that were going to bite you, oh my god, that would not be good. Because this is a heavier knife. And you can definitely feel it. I think my flips are also a little slower with it as well. You know, I'm a little bit of a baby when it comes to weight. So it's not unmanageable by any means. I have a squid trainer and I flip that thing all right, but you can definitely tell that there is some weight on this guy. Obviously, fans work well. Chaplains are a little wide. Rollovers, they're a little weird, but nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna speak on this thing as a competitive flipper. I think this is just like a design kind of thing. It being blade bias is going to kind of nuke any goals of it being legitimately considered to be a competitive flipper, just because certain tricks, especially aerials, can be a lot more unpredictable. But I will say that I've had my fair experience of flipping blade bias, so I'm not like too uncomfortable with it. It just takes a while to get like into that headspace, which definitely is something I haven't been dealing with for a while. Like, I haven't had like a blade bias knife in a while, ever since I sold the one Damascus Tsunami, which was also just a teeny bit blade bias. But yeah, this one I'm really satisfied with the look of, even if it isn't in focus. I think that the blurple really comes out well. I mean, this is basically all purple, but alongside the hardware that they have here, really excited for that. If we change the lens again, let's look at the milling lines on this thing. So you can see that there are milling lines that run up the side of this blade. It does look pretty clean. A stone wash on the blade itself, so looks a little rougher, but I kind of like that aesthetic. It kind of complements the titanium, because the titanium is a little bit rough as well. That's interesting. Well, looks like the actual washers need a little bit of breaking in, but yeah, interesting knife. I'm gonna be flipping it a lot more. I think this will just be fun to flip because it is a non-standard balance, and the sound is obviously really good. But I think the first thing I'll do is just hand tune this, try to get that play down, and see if I can't make it sound a little bit better. Again, not atrocious by any means. You don't necessarily have to tune this out of the box if you're not like the biggest tolerance guy, but for $80, I feel like for it to have like kind of mid tolerances is fine. I'm not like that upset, and like Yuppie will just solidify itself as being like an oversized bushing type of brand, which honestly, I'd rather take an oversized bushing any day over an undersized bushing. I will say that their logo is really cool, despite the fact that autofocus never wants to work. I'll figure that out next video, but yeah, really happy with this one as well. Again, if you haven't seen the video on this guy, go ahead. I won't be flipping it in this one, but super stoked to have this guy in my collection, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, wait, we have to do the we have to do the scissor if we can. Okay, first try. Second try. This thing is very heavy, I can already tell that. Yep, not gonna happen on this one. Bye.